Well, hello and welcome to another Faith, Philosophy and Life with me, Mr. Shelton. I do hope that you are doing well. We are doing a unit at the moment, or starting unit, should I say, on creation, on life, on religion. Religion and life, this is officially called, according to the AQA board, but obviously this fits with a lot of other themes as well. So today we're going to be thinking about different creation themes, and I'm sure that this is something you already know quite a lot about. So I wonder, for a few moments, if you look at the pictures behind me, have a think, what can you remember about the creation narratives that we read about in the Bible? So, for example, how many days did God make the world in? What order were things in? Have a think of that, or we listen to our cheesy intro sequence. So our title today is How Was the World Made? Okay, we're going to be looking at lots of different theories today, and we're going to investigate different beliefs about the origins of the universe. Okay, do make sure you write the title down and underline it, and obviously make sure that all of your work gets sent through to your teachers as needed. It's going to be good if you can explain at least one account of creation. You should be able to do that easily. Great if you can examine the pros and cons, the good and the bad bits of each creation theory. Then even better if you can explain the relationship between Christian views and secular views as well. During today's session then, we're going to be looking at a little quiz. Remember this, research, review, and there'll be an exam question as well to conclude with. So let's just start looking at these. These are some keywords and their definitions. I'd like you to see if you can match up the keyword with the definition. So pause me now, get them written down because they're important ones to be aware of. I'm going to go through them with you if you are a bit stuck on some of them. So pause me now and see what you can do. Okay, so we're going to go through. Let's start with creation. It's making something with a purpose. Okay, here's the next one. Genesis is the first book of the Bible that explains creation. The next one is sanctity of life. All life is sacred and belongs to God. We've then got the Big Bang, a theory that suggests that the universe was created as a result of an initial explosion. Which brings us to evolution, which is a theory suggesting that life has evolved from a single cell organism to the complex variety we have today. So hopefully you've got those right. If not, you can then have got those done. So we got that, and then that, and then that, and then that, and then that. So we've been able to retell at least more than one account of creation now because you've got some of those key words there. So what we're going to do is I'd like you to research the theory. So using the description below, you'll find a load of information in there for you on different Christian and scientific explanations of the universe. I'd like you to have a read through those, complete the learning map that's in there. So there's a table in there for you to extract the information and write it onto. And just spend the next 20 minutes or so doing that. There's a lot of stuff in there, as I say, in that description. You'll need to hunt for the right things. You'll see an evolution worksheet in there. That's going to come up later for the media clip. So just sit on that for the time being. Let's not worry about that one now. So give yourself 20 minutes. Try and get that grid complete. Come back to me when you're done. So pause me now. Okay, so what we've done is we've looked at least one account of creation now, and we've started to think about things that are good and bad about each theory, I'm sure. So the next thing I'm going to do is I've got a clip to show you. This is about what evolution is. Or what evolution is, that's a terrible phrase. This is about the theory of evolution. As I mentioned earlier, there is a media clip down there which you will need to access the worksheet for. So please get the worksheet up on screen. Or print it off or make notes in your book. I'm going to play this clip, then we're going to come back to me.
Darwin was a famous scientist in the 1800s. He was famous because he came up with an idea that changed the way we think about life on Earth forever. The Theory of Evolution. Darwin loved animals and studied them all of his life. In 1831, he went on an exciting voyage aboard the ship HMS Beagle. The Beagle visited the coast and islands of South America and Australia, where Darwin observed and collected a wide range of weird and wonderful plants and animals. When he got back to England, he analysed his collection closely. That was when his ideas about evolution started to form. Darwin had found around 15 different species of finch when he was on the Galapagos Islands. He noticed that the birds were similar to other finches in lots of ways, but their beaks were all different shapes. Darwin looked into it further. He realised that the different beaks matched the type of food available on each island. The finches who ate insects had skinny, pointed beaks, so they could pick them up better. And those that ate hard fruits had beaks that were sharp, so they could get through the skin. Darwin decided that there was only one way that this could have happened. The birds must have adapted to their environment over time. This led into another idea, which he called the survival of the fittest. In any environment, plants and animals from the same species show natural variation in their physical characteristics, such as neck length in giraffes. Darwin suggested that those plants and animals best suited to their environment are more likely to survive and pass on their characteristics to their offspring. Over a long period of time, the characteristics of the surviving members of the species will come to predominate. Confused? Take the peppered moth. In London in the early 1800s, 98% of peppered moths had light-coloured bodies, only 2% were dark. The light moths were very happy because they were the same colour as the trees, which meant that they could easily hide from hungry birds. The dark peppered moths were easy to see and, well, eat. Then came the factories and the smoke of the Industrial Revolution. Many trees turned black with soot, and suddenly it was the dark moths who were able to survive better in their environment. By 1895, the dark peppered moths made up 95% of the population. That's quite a turnaround. The process of natural selection usually takes much longer, but this is a good example of how it works. What about us humans? Good question. Darwin went on to suggest that humans share a common ancestor with modern apes. This was controversial because it went against the religious beliefs of many people. Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection had a great impact on the world. Today, it is widely accepted as our best scientific explanation of how life on Earth works.
And all of this begs the question, and it's just simply a thought for you. What's next? If humanity has evolved to the point we are now, are we going to evolve further? What's human 2.0 going to look like? Not sure, just thought I'd throw that in there. Some of you might want to do a bit of work on that. But we're moving on. So we're going to look at some quotes, okay? A bit of quote analysis. You need to be able to use quotes for part 3, part 4 questions, possibly even for part 5 questions are very useful to be aware of. So, God looked at all that he created and saw it was very good. Okay, so you need to write that quote in your book. And then what I want you to do is to explain what Christians think about creation. And I've put some points there next to me, which I'd like you to have a look at. You may need to pause me while you do that. Let me just shrink myself a bit. No, can't. Just a second. There we go. So have a look at those points while you do that and just make some notes. So you've got those 2 tasks there. Give yourself 5 minutes left at the end of this lesson to come back to me. So pause me now. Okay, so our last part then of today's session is to look at this exam question. Explain 2 contrasting religious beliefs about the origin of the universe. You must answer with reference to at least one religious tradition. So, you've got Roman Catholic Church of England, Quakers, Remember, Roman Catholics generally would support the Big Bang Theory, so that would be your go-to for this one. And then Church of England would possibly be the creation theory. And you just need to outline that in 2 short paragraphs, or a sentence which is explained, another sentence that is explained. You've only got 4 minutes, so it's not going to take you long to do this. So you do that now, and then come back to me. Okay, so that's how it's being marked. So maybe set yourself an even better if, give yourself a score. Shouldn't be that complicated to come up with 4 marks for this. So what we've said, it would be good if you could explain at least one account of creation. Great if you could talk about the pros and cons of each one, and even better if you could talk about the relationship between Christian views and non-religious views as well. And that's where your evolution obviously comes into play. So here's your final task for you. You need to pause this clip obviously while you get this done. There's just a few sentences for you to finish off in your book. I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for your time. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Wash your hands. God bless you. And I'll be seeing you soon.